It has been the dream of my life to appear on this, Britain's longest-running comedy show. I love the British people, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for everything you've ever done. Thank you for 110 million gallons of oil. We can use that. Thank you so much. Fuck me, we needed that. The coastlines of Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana are all covered in oil, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking hundreds of dollars worth of damage. The CEO of BP, a shrew-faced corporate pimp stick by the name of Tony Hayward, who won't even fucking grow a pair and own up to the fact that he's created the biggest ecological disaster on the planet, keeps opening his mouth and digging bigger fucking holes every time. He's a man who's actually managed to turn our formerly eloquent president into some kind of babbling Mr. T. I'm gonna kick some ass. There's gonna be some ass kicking. Plug the motherfucking hole. Jesus Christ, Tony, what the fuck have you done to us, you bastard? These are some of the more sterling pronouncements that Tony Hayward has come up with. The Gulf of Mexico is a big ocean. And the amount of oil we've actually put into it is tiny in comparison to the amount of water on the planet. First of all, Tony, the Gulf of Mexico is a gulf. It's part of the ocean. You don't even know what fucking body of water you're pumping oil out of, you prick. What the fuck is wrong with you? In comparison to the actual amount of water on the planet. That's like saying, well, if you shoot a fat man with a bullet, due to the actual body mass, it's a relatively tiny mortal wound. Relatively tiny. I think what Tony Hayward is saying is that if you work for him, it's okay to pee in the water cooler on Monday morning. Because the actual amount of pee in comparison to the body of water in the water cooler will be fairly negligible. How much fucking worse does this get? Turns out, Rich, it gets a lot worse. Listen, if you fucked up 760 times, right? That would be a lot, right? That's what I thought. BP had 760 health and safety violations. And I guess that's understandable. And they're drilling for oil, right? It's going to be dangerous. And the next company closest to that is Sunoco. They have 8 violations. 768. Tony Hayward, biggest ecological disaster ever. He can't even fucking tell his kid to clean up his room. Really, Dad? Clean up the room. Biggest oil spill ever. So last Sunday, Tony Hayward spent Father's Day with his son watching a yacht race off the Isle of Wight. Yeah, fair enough. You know, it's Father's Day. Spend some time with your kid. Why not? What it means, though, is that the kid had to walk around at some point looking for a suitable Father's Day card. He had to go into a gift shop and, do you have Father's Day cards? Sure, kid. What are you looking for? Do you have one that says, to the world's swellest dad, even if you are the architect of an ecological holocaust, it's wiped out careers and ruined wildlife for thousands of years to come, you're still the world's swellest pop. I'm sure you would have rather spent Father's Day alone, maybe brushing up on your harikiri skills, or figuring out how to put a .357 Magnum bullet into your head without making a huge stain on Mom's brand new living room carpet. But instead, you spent Father's Day with me, your son, watching a $700 million yacht zip around in the water. These are the kind of epic denial skills that will serve me well later in life when I become a Class A drug addict in an attempt to forget my association with this dismal fucking family. And you as well, Dad. Because once that raft of civil lawsuits has made you destitute, the only way you'll be able to support us is by wandering around the docks at night blowing sailors for rent money. And when you get up off your knees and look at the long, expectant queue of naval officers awaiting your fellative services, you're going to think to yourself, wow, turns out 760 really is a pretty big number. You have that card? Happy Father's Day. Yeah. Yeah, how many of you have seen Alan Sugar's scrotum, huh? That Al, yes. Al Gore, the ex-American vice president, waxen-headed fucking chunk of human man meat, big fat flubby Tennessee pork fat piece of shit global warming eco warrior. Al Gore. The man who won an Academy Award for Best PowerPoint Presentation, Al Gore. The man who likes to suggest, put a brick in your toilet. That'll help. Thanks, Al. Put a brick in all 9 of your toilets, you mansion-dwelling piece of shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? He's getting a divorce from his wife of 40 years, Tipper. There are rumors of infidelity. Apparently, he was caught fucking a tree. Now, some woman has come forth, a massage therapist in Portland, Oregon, and has claimed that about a year ago she was giving Al a massage, and he got a bit randy. And there's now a 72-page dossier explaining the entire event. And according to the woman's testimony, Al Gore turned into a sex-crazed poodle. So even in sexual frenzy, Al Gore does no better than being a fucking poodle. Most of us have been violated by a poodle at some point in our lives. It's just a little fluff trying to nail its fucking piece of lipstick tube against your ankle. Get the fuck off. Oh, I'm gonna need therapy for this. I've been violated beyond all means. Get the fuck off! So I guess it's just one more of those series of animal attacks that have been plaguing the nation, ladies and gentlemen. Here in London about 2 weeks ago, you probably read about this. A couple are in Hackney, watching TV in their front room with the front door wide open. They hear a noise upstairs. They go upstairs, and a fox is biting their kids. Now, a lot of people are shocked by that. I'm shocked by the fact that a couple lives in fucking Hackney and sits there with the fucking door wide open, goes upstairs, comes downstairs, and all their shit is still there. But that story is all over the papers in Britain. In America, that would be nothing. I think a woman got her head bit off by a coyote yesterday, and I had to go into fucking Google to find that out, right? In America, you have to be attacked by a celebrity animal before it makes the paper. The animal has to have TV credits of some type, or be a performer. The SeaWorld, the killer whale in SeaWorld, who attacked its trainer and drowned it, that was a shocking story to most Americans because they went, how could that happen? Oh, how could a killer whale kill someone? Geez, I don't know. Maybe the clue there was in the name of the thing. It's a killer whale! Animals have dignity, for fuck's sake. A SeaWorld killer whale, you take him out of his natural environment and his thought pattern, which is swim, eat, kill something, swim, eat, sleep, kill something. Put him in a fucking swimming pool in Florida where a bunch of shrieking, necklace, stumped kids running around with a hypoglycemic sugar rush are trying to stuff jujubes into his blowhole. And wonder why he fucking snapped. But now he has to go swim, sleep, do a matinee, swim, sleep, do the evening show. This is fucked. I'm gonna kill someone. And he does. The other story is a celebrity chimp who bit a woman's face off. Took her nose and her face off. His name was Travis, the celebrity chimp. Travis, the Stamford, Connecticut celebrity chimp. Travis. Bit a woman's face off. Didn't even know her. He did something wrong, pissed him off. Now, in the descriptions of this chimp's activity, they listed the various TV credits, because that's what you do in America. You need to know an animal's TV credits before you'll read the story about it. Elephant tramples someone in America. You go, really? What's he been in? This chimp, according to what I read, had made a failed TV pilot with Sheryl Crow. And that's where you gotta question Hollywood fucking backstabbing to say it was a failed pilot. We're actually talking about a fucking chimp, okay? The chimp doesn't need to know that it was a bad TV pilot. The chimp just knows, I worked with Sheryl Crow. That's good, that's good for name dropping around the fucking zoo or whatever, right? Sheryl Crow? But no. Now it's got this it failed. Well, what the fuck happened? It didn't get picked up. Travis, sorry. Didn't get picked. It's not your fault, it's Cheryl's fault. She can't act. Because even a chimp has to look at that and think, well, fuck, I guess I'm a failure as a chimp actor, And the other chimps are going, well, yeah, you're no Bubbles, are you? And that is the measure that chimp has to work by. He's no fucking Bubbles. Bubbles worked with Michael Jackson. Bubbles had the fucking life. Bubbles that's what you aimed for as a chimp actor. You're no fucking Bubbles, all right? So he sees a woman, he thinks, I need my own Michael Jackson. So he rips off her face and her nose. He doesn't know any better. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about a current American folk hero by the name of Gary Faulkner. Perhaps you're familiar with Gary Faulkner. Gary Faulkner was a one-kidneyed construction worker from Colorado who traveled single-handedly to Pakistan and then attempted to cross the border into Afghanistan to kill Osama bin Laden, carrying a 4-foot-long sword and some night vision goggles. Real clash of technology there. 4-foot sword, night vision goggles, giving him an extremely clear view of the people who were about to shoot him when he came running at him with a fucking 4-foot sword. Fortunately, he was caught because it's pretty hard to get a dialysis machine down the fucking mountains in Pakistan. How fucking desperate do you have to be to get a kidney in America when in order to raise awareness, you have to fucking travel to Pakistan to show the world that you're missing a fucking kidney? Obama passed a health care law in America, and no one's paying any attention to it, because Americans actually don't want health care. Americans are like, I've earned my diabetes, you bastard. I'll pay for it myself, fuckface. Don't tell me if I can be fat or not, you fuck. I'm fat. I want a kidney. Well, you're not getting one. Give me a kidney. No, you can't have one. Well, fuck. 98% of Americans will not sign an organ donor card because they don't want to give up their body parts, because their version of heaven is so literal that they don't want to spend half the afterlife running around trying to fucking reassemble themselves like some Mr. Potato Head, right? They're not giving anything up. I've only ever had one incident in this country, and it got treated, well, I should say immediately, within a day. I got bit in the ass by a kid. Because that's the kind of shit you don't see coming in London, isn't it? You know, just having a nice, decent evening, hanging out at Euston Station, waiting for the train, and a little son of a bitch came up and sunk his fucking molars right into my ass. A 6-year-old bastard, then ran away laughing. What the fuck is wrong with you? Fuck do you get bit in the ass by a kid? And his mom is standing right there. And I go, lady, what the... And she says, kids, what are you going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to shove him in front of a fucking train if he bites me in the ass again, lady. This isn't a fucking Dickens novel. Tell your fucking kid to stop biting me in the ass. I wanted to forget about it, but then 3 well-meaning Londoners come over and say, you should get a tetanus shot. Oh, thanks. So now, instead of missing my train and my ass is on fire, now I'm worried about lockjaw. Now I'm going to have to switch careers and become a ventriloquist. So I went to A&E, right? A&E in London on a Friday night. 6 hours of the most amazing entertainment you could possibly ever experience. 6 fucking hours of me sitting there. After about 3 hours, it became obvious that no one was going to look at me. Because, you know, I checked myself in. What happened to you? I got bit in the ass by a kid? Really? Why don't you go over there and sit down until we all stop laughing? Meanwhile, people are coming in with fucking, you know, stab wounds. They're continuing the fight as they come into A&E. Started in the pub. Oh, you're taking the stab wound to A&E? Take this with you. Bap, 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 bap. And I'm not going to get looked at. Somebody comes out and puts up a cardboard sign that says, for extreme emergencies. For extreme. The normal sign, for emergencies, that way. For extreme emergencies. You're already at A&E. It's a fucking emergency. Now you have to distinguish. If you're standing there with an axe in your head, you'd have no idea which way to go. Oh, holy fuck, do I have an axe in my head? But I only got one axe in my head. What a wonderful week for Britain, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Now, I've always said that the fundamental difference between Brits and Americans is that Brits don't shoot you in the fucking head. Americans like to say, have a nice day, and then shoot you in the fucking head, right? Brits are in that gray area between not completely having a nice day, but not getting shot in the fucking head. No one would ever say to someone in Britain, have a nice day, because it's not fucking possible. Why wind someone up? If you said, hey, have a nice quarter of an hour, they go, oh, thank you very much, that's possible. But then after 15 minutes, something fucks up. You can have a nice quarter of an hour if you don't move, if you just stand in one place, and then hope they don't put scaffolding around you. So now, in some sort of tectonic shift towards America, twice this month, some nutcake with a fucking gun, up north, always in some place with Umbria in it, some fuckwit goes nuts and starts shooting people. Now, the difference is in America, that would have lasted 5 minutes before cops went in and went, "Stop or I'll shoot, fucker." Here, they managed to stretch it out to an entire fucking week. God bless you, British police. Started Saturday morning. By Monday afternoon, the headline in the Times read, "Police urge gunmen to give up." So does 99.6% of the population urge the fucking gunman to give up. Urge is not a police tactic. Fellas, Operation Urge doesn't seem to be working. We're gonna have to go to a code red. That's right, pretty please, with a cherry on top. Johnson, you move around the back for 3 minutes, distract him with some good-natured ribbing. Let's go! Now, here's another fundamental difference in motivation. Americans, there's a term called to go postal. And you probably heard that. Oh, you went a little postal? This came about because Americans can't handle the stress of work. Particularly, postal workers can't handle the stress of delivering the mail, so they go to work and shoot 8 or 9 of their workmates. This does nothing to relieve the stress or the workload. In fact, it adds to it. If you're gonna do anything, go shoot the fuckers you deliver the mail to, all right? How much stress can there actually be delivering the mail? Just put the letter through the mail slot and move on to the next porch, you bastard. Come on, we put numbers on the houses. What the fuck else can we do for you, pal? It's not like you're standing in the street with the mail every day going, "Johnson, where do you live? You bastard, I'm gonna shoot you." In Cumbria, totally different reason. The guy did not shoot anyone because of an increased workload. He shot 3 of his fellow taxi drivers because they were taking fares at the back of the line. You understand the difference there? Americans, stress. Brits will shoot you because you jumped the fucking queue. Don't jump the queue. It's rude. There's procedure, for fuck's sake. Follow it. But you know what they say? Well, guns don't kill people. People kill people. The fuck they don't. Actually, it's bullets that kill people. You need a gun to shoot them, because if you just throw bullets at people, it's fucking annoying, isn't it? What the fuck are you doing? So actually, it's guns plus bullets kill people. It's actually people with a gun and a bullet in the gun kill people, provided they can aim. So it's basically a quadratic equation, and most people can't handle fucking advanced maths, so let's just say guns kill people, right? And the gun corporations, ladies and gentlemen, are astounding. Prepare to be stunned, my friend. You ready to be stunned? Put your stunned face on. Smith & Wesson, largest manufacturer of handguns in the world, also owns the Mr. Kipling's Cake Company. The fuck? Who in their right mind? How? How did that? What kind of a sales meeting was that? Gentlemen, some people are not purchasing our shoot people in the head line of products. We feel we need to branch out, as this pie chart clearly shows. We do pie chart. That's it. Cakes, pies, pastries. Gentlemen, get on it. Yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I guess it's been another momentous and historic week for Britain. David Cameron has traveled to the White House. That's great. Left his little sock puppet Nick Clegg behind. He got on the big bird. All right, Nicky, no parties. Okay, David. So he went to the White House, and I guess traditionally when you go to meet the president, you're supposed to bring a gift, and there's a gift exchange. And this is what occurred this week, is that President Obama clearly likes David Cameron. He gave him an Ed Ruscha lithograph, an original Ed Ruscha. Ed Ruscha, one of the greatest living artists on the planet, whose works command money up to, I don't know, $6-7 million. Something that his family can look at. David Cameron's kids might look at it and be inspired to become great artists. Maybe they'll cash it in and have a nice little nest egg to fall back on. Fantastic gift. David Cameron presented Barack Obama with a pair of candles. Is there some universal conspiracy to get Barack Obama to be the first president to ever say, "Get the fuck out of the White House. Get the fuck out of my house. Candles." It's not what he said. You know what he's thinking. What the fuck are you doing? Did you stop at the motorway service on the way to the airport to pick this up? What the fuck were you doing? Let's see, jumper leads? No, he won't like that. Best of Jethro DVD? No. Candles! So my point was that this whole special British relationship, which is supposed to foster a kind of a sense of unity, and it is a wonderful thing, but you also have to be careful, ladies and gentlemen, to try and stop being like us and shooting people, all right? I don't know how in the fuck Raul Moat got 40,000 fucking Facebook friends who think he's a swell guy and a hero. What the fuck? That's wrong! And this week, there was a copycat guy who kind of pulled a moat. That's a new term I've invented now. Oh, he pulled a moat. Shot himself. Own goal. And that may very well be based on the fact that someone looked at Raul Moat and went, "Oh, he's kind of a hero. He's a folk hero. He stood up to the police." No, he didn't fucking stand up to the police. Britain, ladies and gentlemen, has lost a bouncer. That's all it is. He's no fucking hero. Britain has lost yet one more person with the genius to determine appropriate footwear in a nightclub. How many more of these soldiers have to fall? And I don't know why we're caught up in it. I don't know. I watched it just like you. A lot of people here were just caught up in it. It was a Friday night and we're going, what the fuck? I watched it. It's fucking Sky News. 4 or 5 hours. I'm glued to wanting something to happen. I don't even know when I want to happen. I'm just watching it going, something's got to happen. I pay 13 fucking pounds a month for Sky. Shoot the fucker in the head. Before I go to bed. What is it, midnight? Jesus. And then it becomes just sort of this ongoing kind of, just basically interviews with an ongoing group of village idiots, apparently. They just rounded up every fucking idiot in town. Yeah, someone broke into my kitchen and rustled it and then slept in my bed. Great, police have to round up 3 local bears for questioning now. Thank you, sir. I think Raul Moat stole my prize tomato. Oh, so in addition to shooting 3 people, he's now stealing your prize tomato. This fucker, is there no end to this man's evil? And if anyone finds this behavior to be suggestive or imitable, it's not. It's just, but you got to be careful because I know Brits are much smarter than that, but you never really know, right? I was walking through the West End and there's a poster for Mamma Mia, and this is what it says. Kill to get a ticket. Now, granted, most people in here would just look at that and go, well, it must be a popular show. I guess I have to wait a long time for a ticket. There's probably one guy sitting in the fucking theater now thinking, well, I killed the box office manager. Firebombed the lobby. Found the producer, ripped his face off from wearing that as a hat. Then I assassinated the Prime Minister of Sweden. This fucking better be good, because I don't even like ABBA. For the last 5 weeks or so, I've had to come out and talk about things going on in the world. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm upping the ante. Tonight, I'm talking about things going on in the universe. Yeah. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Because as you probably all know, the Miss Universe contest is coming up again. But why is the winner of the Miss Universe contest always from Earth? I'm starting to think there might be a fix or something. Why is there never some big bag of protoplasm from Glias 481 or something? I've seen water vapor on Venus that's sexier than women from Wales. Oh, I am kidding. I'm fucking kidding. Excuse me. There's no water vapor on Venus. You know, I'm not sure that Brits are that interested in the universe, but Americans are obsessed with finding other forms of life. That's why we have space programs. Britain has a space program. It's got a budget of 812 pounds. We call our spacecraft things like Challenger, Gemini, yours, Beagle. Call it the Beagle. Give it a name in case we lose it, you know, no one will get upset. A little sign up somewhere, Lost Beagle. If found, please contact Britain. Because I don't think Brits give a fuck if there's life on other planets or not. Americans want to find life on other planets so we can plunder all the metallurgical rights. Brits, they don't give a... The British attitude is this: let them find us. 2,000 years. Little island off the continent of Europe. Good luck parking, fuckface. There were scientists in Seattle, ladies and gentlemen, who spent 4 years, a team of scientists in Seattle, Washington, spent 4 years weighing the planet. Why? And then they re-weighed it. And they found out that their initial, that they were wrong. Apparently, the planet doesn't weigh 5,978 trillion tons, like we all thought it did. It only weighs 5,972 trillion tons, so be careful putting stuff down. Look, I don't care how much the planet weighs. I just want to know how long the planet's going to last. And apparently, if we don't do something real soon, we're not going to be around too long. And I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, maybe the planet is heating up, maybe it isn't, but I fucking don't want to perish because of global warming or the so-called greenhouse effect, which is just a pussified way for mankind to perish, isn't it? Do you really want to be found by other life forms just fried and charred like some critter? Just going, hey, what happened to these people? They look like old chips. Yeah, it's a greenhouse effect. What? Greenhouse effect? How does that kill you? You ever been in a greenhouse? You feel threatened for 1 second? Boy, if they were to lock all these doors and windows, how long could I survive surrounded by all this fresh fruit and vegetable? This is disgusting. Wow. It's exciting. Anyway, science is important when it actually benefits you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Good. Otherwise, a waste of time and money, and who gives a shit, right? I don't want to perish. I want to survive. I believe in humans. I believe in the human effort. But then you start to think, holy fuck, how are humans ever going to get together and survive? It's going to come down to one person. One amazing individual is going to find out a way to stop global warming. It's not going to be a group of people, because a group of scientists have never fucking achieved anything. Because groups of people just fuck things up. Which is why your toilet at home is clean and the one at King's Cross is a total fucking shithole. So I will leave you with this bit of advice that I've learned in my life, ladies and gentlemen. Take it or leave it for what it's worth. A lot of times in your life as a scientist, someone's going to tell you that the greatest invention ever was the wheel. And it's not. The greatest invention ever is the second wheel. Because have you ever seen someone on a unicycle? What a fucking asshole. Thank you. That's enough. Lower your expectations. Chicago. Woo. Where are you, buddy? There he is. Yeah, up there in the sniper balcony. There he is. I love British audiences, and you will too, sir. By the time this show is over, you're going to see that there's a difference between the ability to laugh and owning a sense of humor. Brits have a sense of humor. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. Americans have the ability to laugh. You have two totally different... Brits can process jokes and not get upset when you step on their beliefs. America, hey, pal, whoa, just a second there, fella. Wait a minute. Now you're talking about something important to me, you bastard. You better watch it right there. Americans don't have opinions, they have bumper stickers. Once you've committed to a bumper sticker, there's no fucking change in your mind after that, is there? I've seen this bumper sticker in America a few times, and it says, "I'm proud of my gay son." Now, that's, that kind of raises more questions than it answers, doesn't it? Now you're looking at that going, well, what did he win a contest or something? Was he... Because if you're gay, right, and be proud of it, and wear it on your shirt, whatever the fuck, if you're gay, but when your dad slaps a bumper sticker on the back of his car, "I'm proud of my gay son," you're just thinking, well, now he's trying to take credit for the whole thing. What, do you sit him down? We had to sit him down and say, "Son, Mom and I couldn't afford piano lessons, so you're going to be good at something, fucker. I'm talking about volume, distance, accuracy. You're going to fucking be good at it." We took to it like a duck to water. By water, I mean cock, and by duck, I mean my son. I'm welling up right now just thinking about him. Son of a bitch. I'm going to the state finals this week. Americans they get this much information, and that's it. They've made up their mind. That Gaddafi, he needs to die. That's pretty much, fucker, crazy fucker. Just kill him. Just kill him, son of a bitch. What kind of dictator only makes himself a colonel? We got guys in this country put chicken in a goddamn bucket and make themselves colonel. Crazy son of a bitch. Oh, look at that. Charlie Sheen's gone off the rails again. God damn. He needs help. What the? Whoa! Gaddafi needs to die. Charlie Sheen needs help. No! The guy is plundering his nation's wealth and torturing his fucking people. You ever seen 2.5 Men? It's fucking excruciating. It's shit. Guy gets $1.5 million a week to play one of two middle-aged guys with mysteriously vacillating hairlines, being upstaged by some 7-year-old bucket-faced douche nozzle of a kid running around making fart jokes. Fucking kill him! At least Gaddafi, in his own backhanded way, has inspired hundreds of thousands of people to act on their own initiative. Charlie Sheen has 60 million Americans sitting on the fucking couch in a Snuggie, stuffing fat fucking Cheetos into their brain-dead faces like big bags of protoplasm. Look at that, he made a fart joke. Fucking killing people from the brain up. If America wants to send a message to Gaddafi, here's what you do. You bring Charlie Sheen out on a talk show, and as soon as he starts ranting, just shoot him in the fucking eyeball with a harpoon. I'm a winner. Fuck! Oh, Jesus! Oh, Christ, I'm not winning so much anymore. Fuck me, that hurt. I hope he gets better. I don't give a fuck if Charlie Sheen gets better or not. But he will. Oh, he'll get better. He'll go to rehab, then he'll make a hit movie. Isn't that wonderful? He's redeemed himself. Americans love redemption. Americans talk about burned down Hollywood stars the way they talk about rock bands. Here Mel Gibson's getting back together. Britain, if you fuck up, you better get seriously sick. Then Brits forgive you. Oh, he got sick. Oh, well, we forgive you. Lockerbie bomber blows up a plane. Oh, he got sick. Let's send him home. Let him have one last barbecue. Jade Goody, fucking racist, gas-headed freak. Out of her fucking mind. I think she got sick. She's a national treasure. No, she's not. In conclusion, I think what I'm trying to say is I am so proud of my gay son, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. My job on the show is to make light of the big news story of the week. Japan, yeah. Obviously, the grief and the destruction is it's beyond comment, ladies and gentlemen, and not to mention the threat of a nuclear core meltdown and So I watched the UN official earlier this week, and he said, it can't get any worse. But I think we're all thinking, yes, it can. Because we're talking about radiation, and we're talking about Japan. No one wants to say it. But everyone is thinking it deep down in the deep recesses of their mind. Mothra. That's right. Any 60s sci-fi nerd in this room knows that Mothra is a big fucking bug that was born on a Japanese island that had been subjected to too much atomic testing. Now, that was the 60s. In the 60s, you could fight Mothra with some atomic death rays and a bit of luck and ingenuity. This is 2011. If Mothra came back today, it would be one international bureaucratic clusterfuck, ladies and gentlemen. The Japanese would have to appeal to the UN, and the UN would dither for months and finally agree to condemn the giant moth and then freeze its financial assets. Now it has no access to a bank card, and then David Cameron tries to impose a no-fly, no-moth zone over Japan. Nobody gives a fuck because they're not even sure who he is. But the moth is attracted to a summer-weight woolen suit and wants to meet him. So he applies to Britain for asylum under the special status that he's a giant gypsy moth, and so he attempts to fly to Heathrow, but there's protesters because of the high-pitched drone is a noise ordinance, and they've lined the runways in cedar, so he's forced to divert to Luton, where he's told he's going to have to take a 3-hour fucking bus ride to London. And now he's starting to get an inkling of the stultifying fucking diet of disappointment that is everyday life in Britain. So he gets drunk at the airport bar and then attempts to wander out onto the runway and rape an EasyJet. Then he's consumed with that shame and degradation that we all feel when we get off of an EasyJet flight. And he ends up drunk and passed out and wakes up in his own silk, and now he's arguing with a wino in a doorway over a sleeping bag because he thinks it's his prepubescent larva. Going, give me that! And he's not terrifying, he's just a fucking nuisance. Then some 60s sci-fi geek remembers that the only thing that can truly defeat Mothra is Godzilla. Yeah! And he's done it 3 times. So they sent for Godzilla, but turns out he's tied up with Don King Promotions and can't possibly fight Mothra until he's had a shot at Audley Harrison. But Audley Harrison can't fight him because he's currently engaged to fight his way out of a paper bag in July. So eventually, they construct a giant 5 trillion watt light bulb, hoping to merely contain him, and put it in the middle of Norfolk. And then there's a big fight between EDF and Eon over who's going to provide the fucking power. And then an even bigger fight over what special interest group / object of ridicule / minority is actually going to screw in the light bulb, and how many will it take? And they have to decide either on toboggan makers or waiters. They decide it takes 4 toboggan makers to screw in a light bulb, 3 to ride it, and 1 to push the fucking thing across Norfolk. And they jump on it and realize there's no fucking snow in Britain, so why the fuck would you ever erect a toboggan in Britain in the first place? There he is. My point is this, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to construct a nuclear power plant, you ought to consider not building it over a geothermal hot plate called the Ring of Fire, all right? Take Britain's example. In Britain, we build nuclear power plants where the people are already mutants. I don't know if you've ever been to Whitehaven. But if you ever go to Whitehaven, you will find that radioactive fallout actually improves those people's looks. They had a disaster. People to have fucking a tan, straight teeth. Jesus, Bob, what's happened to you? Christ, you look like one of the Osmonds. Thank you. Donnie, nice to have you here. Obviously, this will be the week remembered as the week that we went to war. Yeah, war. I know what you're all thinking. War? What the fuck are you talking about? It's not a war. Neither Britain nor America's had an enemy in 50 years that even had a uniform. Libya, Kuwait, Iraq, Afghanistan. West Ham has a tougher schedule than that, for fuck's sake. Where are the proper evil people? Gaddafi, look at that. Proving that even in a land where you have to wear robes, there's such a thing as novelty robes. Clearly a Christmas present given to him by a distant relative who didn't realize that Muslims don't actually celebrate Christmas. Hey, why don't you wear that robe from your cousin Clarence Gaddafi in Ohio? What the fuck was he thinking? And now he's using human shields. The last act of a desperate man, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, when you're using human shields, and I wouldn't be surprised if next he shows up. Why would anyone pick on me? Look, I'm wearing a baby hat. And I don't mean a knit cap with a I mean an axe. I have a baby on my head. Who would hurt a man with an axe? I love people. Look, I'm wearing a baby. Why would anyone hurt me with my baby hat? Don't kill me. So, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, by this time next week, maybe the whole thing will have blown over and all go back to having a fucking week with no fucking news in it whatsoever. How glorious would that be? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't it be great just to go to your job, my friend? Not have to worry about the world blowing up? You there, big fella? Yeah, wouldn't you? Yeah. What kind of work do you do?
I'm an ass husband.
An ass husband? Wow. Good work if you can find it. Sorry, I'm a little ill-prepared this week, ladies and gentlemen. I had to write some of these jokes down, but generally, figure this stuff out beforehand. But I think, much like you, I've been stunned this week by the passing of Harry Coover, much as you people are. I realize I'm preaching to the converted here, but Harry Coover is a man who invented super glue, ladies and gentlemen, and passed away this week at the age of 94. Wonderful man, yeah. Tremendous contribution to society, and he'll be greatly missed. Let's see what else is going on. Did you really think, ladies and gentlemen, I was going to stoop so low as to make a cheap, tawdry joke at the expense of a dead guy? What kind of a fucking show is this? If that's what you want, your cheap, too soon, crappy jokes, go on the internet, people. This is a man who invented super glue, for fuck's sake. Who doesn't? One of the most amazing. Don't look away like I'm not talking to you, fella. You use super glue. I would never make cheap fucking jokes about a dead guy. The man who wrote the definitive text, ladies and gentlemen, on the practical and military uses of resins and polymers and adhesives. I know it sounds like a boring book. Well, I fucking couldn't put it down, all right? That is not a fucking joke. You vultures. I'm trying to say some nice words about a man who stuck around for 94 years and refused to die because he knew he'd become a cheap fucking punchline, and you people are making up your own jokes here. The comedian and I come out and say a few nice words. I got jokes, people. I got fucking jokes right here, and I'll be happy to use them. But I'll tell you what, right? I traveled through the park during the demonstrations this week. The organizers claim 500,000. The police say 250,000. So right there is a huge problem. If you can't tell the difference between 250,000 people and 500,000, then I am playing the O2 Arena tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and it's fantastic. So apparently some of these protesters went into Fortnum and Mason because, yeah, they're keeping the man down. Because, without picnic items, how can we... that's the first sign of chaos right there, isn't it? So if you are an anarchist, basically you have no fucking plan. So what were you hoping to achieve? You're an anarchist. You have no plan. But London is already a fucking anarchic, chaotic city. So the only way you can raise any, go into TK Maxx and put shit back on the shelves. That would turn some heads. You go, what the fuck are they doing? Did you hear about these anarchists? In America, we don't really have that whole class thing. Where money just, it just, you know, it just sees through every class and education and accent. In America, basically, you're either rich or poor or struggling to get by. That's the three fucking monetary classes. And it's very easy to tell which you are. When you go to work, if your name is on the outside of the building you work in, you're rich. If your name is on your desk, you're struggling to get by. If your name is on your shirt, you are fucking poor. Just look around for your name. Cecil, you need some plumbing work? If you have a number on your shirt, you're a convict, so be glad that you're poor, for fuck's sake. So the secret, ladies and gentlemen, because I've traveled up north quite a bit in Britain, and that's where I've discovered that the actual secret to all your financial problems, takeaway chicken. Because I don't care what's going on in the rest of the business world, the fucking takeaway chicken business is heaving. There are chickens martyring themselves to be eaten in Britain. Holy fuck. I was in a place called Skipton, and it's not like, yeah, there you go. And I passed this place, it's about 2 in the morning, and it's called King Turkey Fried Chicken. Not Kentucky Fried Chicken, just King Turkey, clearly taking advantage of illiterates and drunks who are just going to look at the sign. Does that say Kentucky Fried King Turkey? Turkey, clucky. Is it turkey? Is it what? Fuck it, let's eat. Overlit fluorescent hellhole, and it was fucking crammed. 2 bouncers and a fucking takeaway chicken shack. What kind of people are they turning away? I'm sorry, sir, you do not meet the criteria required to enter this establishment and eat food out of a bucket. Now just fuck along. Move on. You need to travel around London and you see all kinds of aberrations. So Kentucky Fried Chicken, which is an American, is astounding because you're just Maryland Fried Chicken. Oh yeah, they're no Texas Fried Chicken, Kansas Fried Chicken. And these people have no fucking sense of humor whatsoever. Because I walked into the Kansas Fried Chicken, I ordered the chicken, and then I went up to the owner and I said, sir, how have you managed to capture that great Midwestern plain spirit, that forthrightness of the Midwestern people in your chicken? How do you do it, Ahmed? It's amazing. And then I was told to fuck off. There's a poll this week in America. 37% of Americans believe that this woman, ladies and gentlemen, Sarah Palin, should be the next president of the United States. 37% of Americans think that a woman who, if Satan held a Tupperware party, would be the hostess. A woman who looks like the woman in every detergent ad who just found out her whites are suddenly whiter. 37% of Americans think she could be a good president. Keep in mind, most of these polls are conducted at shopping malls. 37% of the people who couldn't even figure out how to get the fuck away from a guy coming at him with a clipboard think that Sarah Palin would be a great president. They also think donuts the size of truck tires are a good idea. So Sarah was in Israel last week, as if they haven't suffered enough, the Jews, and expanding her foreign policy because the woman's only been out of the country 3 times in her life, and one of them is Canada, a country she has to go through to get back to America. She was the governess of Alaska for 2 years. Should have been 4, 2 years in. What is this, 800,000 square miles of snow? That's not good enough for me. And she fucking quit. Then she wrote a memoir that was 400 pages long. The last 200 pages blank. Then she started a talk show. And she claims to speak as Tea Party members do. And let me explain the Tea Party. It's just the biggest bunch of foot-washing fundamentalists, Bible thumpers, and show us your birth certificate. Show us your birth certificate, Obama. Why don't you show me a fucking high school diploma, you twit? So, She claims that Alaska is a perfectly... She speaks for the average Joe, and she fucking lives in Alaska. Place full of drug refugees and people who think that bears are more exciting than humans, and Wyoming is too crowded, so they fucked off to Alaska. And she said, well, we're just average people. She says it's perfectly normal in Alaska to open up your front door and see a grizzly bear. Right away, no, it's not. It's not fucking normal. That'd be as normal as walking out of here and seeing a fucking moose staring at you in the middle of the traffic. It's not fucking normal to build your house where predators roam who are 12 feet high and are chowing down on the family dog like the last fucking drumstick in a bucket of KFC. That's not fucking normal. That's idiotic. Who the fuck lives amongst bears? They will eat you. Generally I like to talk about the big news stories of the week, the big headlines. This week, I'm going to go with one of the smallest headlines of any paper in the world. The Livingston, Montana Enterprise, where the main story was comedian and local resident Rich Hall will not be hosting the annual Livingston softball tournament this year because he is attending the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. The Edinburgh Fringe Festival is the largest festival of its kind, featuring over 3,000 shows. Fringe. 3,000 fringe-related shows. Please make plans to attend. Okay. I don't know if have you ever been to Montana, my friend? Have you ever heard of it? Yeah, it's a state in America. Yeah, primary production there is roadkill. Speaking of roadkill, ladies and gentlemen, just when you thought things couldn't be any more fucked up in America, Donald Trump, self-styled billionaire, property developer, and a man with something on his head that resembles trussed-up, teased-up, milk-withered Weetabix, been stapled to his fucking scalp and run through it with manure spreader, has announced he wants to be president of the United States. Yes, that's right. The man who wrote the book Art of the Deal, proving that you can cover a lot of negative equity with a minimal amount of capital, as proven by his head, wants to be president. What the fuck has gone wrong with America, ladies and gentlemen? 51% of Republicans do not believe that Barack Obama has a birth certificate, which is odd because 52% of Republicans don't have a high school diploma. It all works out. How the fuck can you not have a birth certificate? So Donald Trump has challenged Barack Obama and said, okay, Barack, show us your birth certificate. Here's mine, and then he produced two of them. I don't know which is weirder, the fact that maybe Barack Obama doesn't exist or the fact that there's two fucking Donald Trumps. Clearly one birth certificate for him and one for that thing living on his fucking head. How the fuck could he be? If he was president, you wouldn't even be able to pay attention to what he was saying. He could say, we're invading Celine Dion, and you'd go, what is that fucking thing on your head? Christ almighty. Somebody owes Jedward an apology. So last week, he's already spoken out on what he would do if he was president. He went on CNN and he was interviewed and he said, the first thing I would do as president would be to get rid of the pirates. No further explanation. What pirates? The Somalian pirates, you fuckwit? What? He said, yeah, give me a warship in 1 hour and I'll get rid of them. Get your own yacht, fuckface, and a gun, all right? You don't have to be president. They're not real pirates. They're not in a galleon with a skull and crossbones, you fuckwit. They're emaciated Somalians on a lilo with a garden strimmer for a propeller going after a big fucking boat because if they don't get a fucking sandwich soon, they are going to be skull and crossbones, you fuckwit. So whether or not he deserves to be president, ladies and gentlemen, it wouldn't surprise me if he fucking won. It's just... And if he does, it's this. This is the good news about it, right? Is that with people like Donald Trump and Sarah Palin running for president, I think it's pretty much guaranteed that Barack Obama is going to be elected another 4 years. So the question isn't, what does Barack Obama have to do to get reelected? The question is, what the fuck does he have to do not to get reelected? He would have to invade this country. He'd have to pull a Charlie Sheen and come out and say, I'm made entirely of felt. He would have to have an approval rating so fucking dismal that people in Kenya were claiming he was born in America. So we are all in safe hands, ladies and gentlemen. I like to go through the British papers and find all the American stories, because generally someone dies in them. I've noticed that lately. It doesn't make news here in America unless someone dies. That's just... And so occasionally you see a story where someone doesn't die and you think, yay, woo, red, white, and blue, woo. So apparently, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question, fella. You, put the drink down. Put the drink down, look at me. Look right at me. Coke or Pepsi? Pepsi. Right away, the man said Pepsi. All right, I just want to point out that this week, the Pepsi-Cola Corporation announced that it has lost the Cola War. You had no idea there was a war between colas, did you? Many people died, fella. Many people died fighting for your Pepsi cause, including Michael Jackson. Well, Pepsi has lost. It's not even the number 2 selling drink anymore, and they say, well, we're throwing in the towel. Now, I just want to point this out, okay? You made your choice, Pepsi, Coke. Pepsi and Coke spend a combined $8 billion a year on advertising. That's how much Pepsi and Coke spend to get you to buy Pepsi or Coke. $8 billion. Let's see how much this advertising has paid off. You're at the football match, you go to the snack bar, I'll have a sausage dog and a Coke. Sorry, sir, we only serve Pepsi. Yeah, whatever. $8 billion. Are you a man of choice, fella? All right, if you had to choose Adele or Foo Fighters? Adele, Foo Fighters. Good for you, Mike. Adele. Wrong. Adele has been knocked off the charts by the fucking Foo Fighters are back, fuckers. Yeah. How illiterate was that? The Foo Fighters are knocking everyone. Now, as a fan of Foo Fighters, and I know many of you here are Foo Fighter fans, I'm here to burst your bubble, okay? Not a penny the Foo Fighters have ever earned has actually gone to fighting Foo. They don't give a fuck about Foo. They're not fighting Foo. They claim to fight Foo. They don't care. I fight Foo every day of my life. I root it out at the source, fella. Usually Chinese restaurants. I am a Foo hater. I will not stop till the last bit of Foo has left this planet, my friend. You look like a man who's excited about the AV Plus vote. You look like the man who can barely contain himself with the oncoming referendum of the AV Plus vote. Are you? You're going to go out and vote for the AV Plus? Now, see, I'm being met with fish-faced stares, and rightly so, because who the fuck knows what the fucking AV Plus fucking vote is? It's like Sky, but Sky Plus. It's like regular voting, but you get the Cutlery channel. It's like... All right. Basically, this is it. Okay, I'm going to explain it as simplified manner as I possibly can. The liberal Democrats, who are roughly 6-7% of the voting population, have realized that the way that they got into office through traditional voting is not the right way to get in. So now they don't like traditional voting. So they are deciding to hold a referendum so that people can come out and vote traditionally to not make voting traditional anymore. Hoping that enough traditional voters will not show up so that it'll prove, by not showing up and voting, that alternative voting is the proper method. Does that make sense? Of course it doesn't. Let me simplify it for you. You like cigars, fella? Pick one. There you go. Which one? That one? Oh, you chose that one. There you go. Excellent choice, my friend. You're happy with that cigar, aren't you? That is called traditional cigar choosing, my friend. You found a cigar that you thought was the best. Now, in the alternative cigar choosing system, rather than choosing from 2 cigars, we have literally dozens, perhaps hundreds of cigars to choose from every local and regional constituency in the country. Then a numerical value is assigned to these cigars, which can be transferred if some of them decide to drop out of the race. Then, through a process called winnowing or exhausted balloting, the cigars are then chosen. Those in favor of being a proper cigar say aye. Aye. Those in favor of not being the proper cigar say nay. Nay. And you are left with one cigar, my friend. Not the cigar you chose, but rather a cigar that is more proportionally representative of the fucking cigars on offer. And I would guess, my friend, that your natural response to being offered that cigar instead of that cigar is whatever. Yeah, thank you. All right, calm down. It's not a dog fight. I've had a very exciting week. Many of you, of course, who follow the news are aware that very, very recently the first ever Beatles contract, which was signed in Hamburg, Germany, went up for auction. There it is. That is the actual contract signed by Lennon McCarthy. So you know this is a valid document. George Harrison and Pete Best. Pete Best, the guy who left the Beatles. No matter what kind of fucked up decisions you've made in your life. At least you can go to bed thinking, at least I am not Pete Best. That guy, you can't even sit down at the table with it. Honey, the roast is a little overcooked. Really? And this coming from a man who could have been a Beatle! Could have fucking been a Beatle! So, Santa for the Week sent me to the auction to attempt to purchase this document, but they only gave me 80 pounds. And it sold for about 80,000 pounds. So with the 80 pounds that I was given, I have purchased some other rock and roll and pop music ephemera, so to speak, and various correspondence that has been purchased with Channel 4 money. And these are all certified rock and roll and musical documents, ladies and gentlemen. This is from the town council to a Mr. T. Orlando. Mr. Orlando, after careful deliberation, the city council has chosen not to honor your request to tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. The old oak tree is a venerable part of this town's history, and decorating it is generally reserved for the 4th of July parades and returning military heroes. The fact that you have done your time and you're coming home does not warrant a civic celebration. In the eyes of this council, you are and always will be a criminal. Frankly, Mr. Orlando, we suggest you stay on the bus and forget about us. Leonard Sigurdsson, Department of Special Events. Here's a letter to the proprietors of a certain hotel. Sirs, I am writing to complain about the appalling circumstances my wife and I were subjected to at your so-called luxury resort. We had booked a weekend romantic getaway there under the assurance that there was plenty of room at the Hotel California. Well, I'm not surprised, as the place was impossible to find. Your directions merely stated it was located on a dark desert highway. That is way not too specific enough. We must have passed the place 6 times before we found it. May we suggest proper signposting and illumination. Upon arrival at approximately 7 p.m., I reminded the desk clerk that we had booked the weekend couples package of room and complimentary breakfast for $69.95 and presented a voucher. Imagine my chagrin when I was curtly informed that we could check in anytime we liked, but we could never leave. What kind of bullshit rip-off scam are you clowns trying to pull? Seriously. My Citibank card maxes out at $500 and you're telling me I gotta stay for a minimum of eternity? It gets worse. At dinner we ordered wine. Wine! Ever heard of it? Most restaurants serve it. Instead, your insubstantial and frankly effete waiter informed us we haven't had that spirit here since 1969. Does this bullshit. Not know the difference between wine and spirits. So and so and so. We demand immediate refund. And this is my favorite, ladies and gentlemen. It's a kind of a breakup note from a Mr. M. Gay. Baby, by now you've returned home to discover my clothing and worldly possessions gone, and me as well. Maybe you're shocked. Maybe you're reading this and thinking, how did I, Marvin Gaye, learn you were leaving me for some guy that you knew before? How did I know about your plans to make me blue? I'll tell you how. I talked to the grapes, bitch. I talked to the grapes, and the grapes fucking talk back. Bet you didn't see that one coming, you lying, cheating bitch whore. Sincerely, Marvin Gaye. Thank you. Yeah. Gee. I wonder what the American on the topical news show is going to talk about. Possibly the passing of Henry Cooper. See, I wasn't on any rooftop going, woo! Inside I was. Woo! But, you know, it's Britain. People don't get, I completely understand, Brits, because your army doesn't just puff itself up and go, look at us! Ooh, ooh, ooh. Whereas America, you watch the recruitment ads in America. Be a Marine. Be all you can be. We do more before 7 a.m. than you'll do all day. Like, great, I'm going back to bed. Good luck. Yourself out. You see British recruiting ads. Join the TA. Free hat. There's so many fucking different accounts of what the fuck went on at Osama bin Laden's pad. And they can't seem to agree on how many fucking helicopters there were. Was it his wife? Did he get shot in the chest, the head? Who shot him? Was it a human? But everyone seems to agree that his house was worth $1 million. How the fuck do you watch some grainy footage and be able to go, yeah, that's $1 million house. What is that? Is that an ensuite bedroom? Right? Yep, that's it. Oh, yeah, that's worth $1 million. Who the fuck was hiding them? Foxtons? How the fuck can they... That's $1 million house right there. For fuck's sake. Listen, I don't know if you're happy or sad that he's gone, because terror in Britain is a totally different thing. You don't call it the war on terror, first of all. That's an American term. War on terror. Here it's just terror. Terror is fucking terror. It's a heightened emotion. You can't go to war with a heightened emotion. What happens if wistfulness and nostalgia were to enter into this three-pronged attack? Be overcome with heightened emotion. I wouldn't know what to do. It's just terror. Terror in Britain is when the guest toilet backs up, for fuck's sake. In America, there's a whole industry of terror. You turn on TV and they tell you the terror alert by color. No explanation whatsoever. Just they scroll it across the bottom of the screen. Today's terror alert is orange. Back to our show. Going, well, what the fuck does that mean? You mean orange? Orange isn't good. Is that worse than red? I don't know. What if it's blue? Is it pregnant? What the fuck is going on? Who knew? Who knew that Pakistan was hiding him, you know? And so now you have this delicate situation. Not in America. America's just going, what the fuck, Pakistan? What the fuck? Like the whole country's just going to answer, well, we don't know. We just, but you know. Whereas in Britain, you watch Cameron, he's going, okay, let's just not start a row, because they have a nuclear bomb. And they're a bit unstable. Well, then how the fuck did you get a nuclear bomb? I mean, I understand. You understand Britain and America have a nuclear bomb because we worked our way up to it. Right? Cannon, rocket, grenade, nuclear bomb. Pakistan, guy making snake dance out of basket, nuclear bomb. What the fuck? There's got to be something in between. Maybe a pom-pom? I don't know. How do you know it's a good nuclear bomb? Could just be some uranium mixed with Diet Pepsi in a bottle and a couple of Mentos. So I don't really know, but everybody here understands, you know, terror is just but Americans are like, yeah, woo, we won. We're going to win the war on terror. And here people are, fuck, no, there'll be more terror, you know. Because you understand, Americans, they've just been told that Osama bin Laden, well, he's the guy. He's evil guy. He's like Lex Luthor. He's just sitting there pushing evil buttons. Be evil over there. Bit of triangulated evil over here. Have those Somali pilots drift over there and mix with that Al Maghreb, and that'll be evil number 2. And then you just think it's the face. You have to explain to Americans, he's the face of terror. It's like a brand. What do you mean? It's like Kentucky Fried Chicken, for fuck's sake. Just because the colonel's picture is on the bucket doesn't mean he's making the chicken, all right? So ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, nobody knows, you know. Well, I guess it'll all come out eventually. A million different news sources, and eventually people will go, well, what the fuck happened? But I'll tell you this right now. I completely understand why they dumped the body at sea. Because I don't know if you've ever had a dead body on your hands in the middle of the night. And you kind of want to get rid of it, right? But what are you going to do at 2 in the morning? Well, we made attempts. We called up some other countries, and they didn't want him. What kind of a fucking phone call is that? 2 in the morning. Yeah, Saudi Arabia. What? No, I don't want a fucking body. It's 2 in the morning, you fuckwit. Well, wait till tomorrow, you bastard. I don't shove him out in front of the morgue like a couple of teenagers with an OD friend. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to sleep, you prick. Fuck you. So wherever he is, paradise or the other thing, I'll tell you this. I'm not so sure about the 72 virgins, ladies and gentlemen. The Quran has been translated many times. I'm not sure it's 72 virgins. Could be a 72-year-old man named Virgil. There's one eye opener right there. Hey, welcome to paradise. You want some soup? Weird for Brits to whoop. Americans whoop. Jesus Christ, do they whoop. Since Osama died, there are people in the hospital recovering from high-five injuries. Evilest guy in the world. So apparently, he was 6 years in a house with 3 wives and 23 kids. So I reckon he's about a week away from calling anyone up and saying, it's Osama, I'm in Pakistan, come shoot me in the fucking head. Pronto, now. Do me a favor. Fucking shrew wife number 3, pop one in her leg before I die. Can I just have one moment of elation before I go to hell? Just one, please. Just put one in her ass. Boom. Thank you. World's evilest man. And that's, you know, that's the problem when you're stuck in a house with your wife and you got a $25 million bounty on your head. You know she's going to use that to her advantage. She's going to put that fucking plate on the upper... Yeah, put that dirty dish back on the counter one more time instead of the sink. Because you are fucking worth a lot more to me dead than alive, you prick. Now get off your fat, fucking lazy, fatwa ass and get out and pull some fucking weeds out of the garden, you bastard, or whatever the fuck you call it. Jihad to grass. When I don't give a fuck. Get off your ass. But it goes both ways, you know, because you can... Sharia law, you can divorce your wife just by going, I divorce thee 3 times. The triple talaq, it's called. The triple, I divorce thee, I divorce thee, I divorce thee. Boom. It's over. So any guy's going to take advantage of that. Come here. I divorce thee, I divorce thee. Make me a sandwich. Goddamn. Dyed his beard. Did you know that? Osama bin Laden dyed his beard. He was vain. Didn't want to be mistaken for ZZ Top in those videos, so he had to dye his beard. So now you have this image of the world's evilest guy giving messages to his courier. All right, I need Google Earth map coordinates of all the nuclear plants on the West Coast. I need 6 detonators. I need a box of Nice and Easy. What? Nice and Easy. Auburn, not dark brown, Auburn, because it accentuates my cheekbones, okay? Make sure the keratin is in there, make it fluffy, and it's just, for fuck's sake. So, you know, I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, is that I'm not going to gloat. I'm glad he's dead. I don't want to see the fucking pictures. I am perfectly willing to believe that he received a dignified burial at sea. By the way, given Osama bin Laden a dignified burial at sea is now replaced dropping the kids off at the pool as the most used euphemism for taking a crap. I gotta give Osama a dignified... So, ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we look at all that, and it'll go on, and not a person in this room knows that terror is just going to go away. Next week, they're going to show some of the pictures of Osama bin Laden to various members of Congress and also to President Bush and Dick Cheney. And that's important, because you need Dick Cheney to verify any picture of someone shot in the face, because he's definitely been shot in the face, because Dick Cheney will shoot anyone in the fucking face. Dick Cheney is the guy who shot his hunting partner in the face by accident because he thought he was a mallard. Second most powerful man in the world could not distinguish between a fucking flying animal and the guy who pulls up in front of his house every week with a pickup truck full of... How are you going to tell the difference between a Shiite and a Sunni if you can't tell the fucking difference? So he was asked, Dick Cheney in his last day in office as vice president was asked this question. And it's a good question. He was asked by a reporter, Mr. Cheney, when will the war on terror be over? And he said, when people aren't terrified anymore. It's going to be a long fucking war, people. Anyway, earlier in the week, one of Osama bin Laden's sons said that his burial at sea was humiliating to his father's stature and significance in history. Stature and significance. And I would say that the bin Ladens have pretty much ruined their name for good, haven't they? You know, here's how you know you have historical significance: if they name a fucking food after you. All right? There's the Wellington. He got a beef dish named after him. Caesar had a salad named after him. There's a pastry called Napoleon, for fuck. No one's ever going to walk into a bakery and go, give me a couple of buttered bin Ladens and a coffee. The fuck you mean you don't have bin Ladens? All right, fuck it. Give me a cheese Hitler.